All right. Welcome to the Death Before Decay podcast. Today, I'm here with my friend, Dr. Justina Anigbo. How are ya?
Good, very good. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
You have such a beautiful office. Like when I walked in, I was immediately impressed. So I'm very excited
I appreciate it.
Part of this little group. It's so pretty here.
Thank you. Yeah, it is we're not recording in the studio today. John has some stuff going on, so we're just recording in our med spa today. So yeah.
I wish I would have met you, John. I'm sure you're a lovely guy.
He is a lovely guy.
Okay, cool.
Today we're talking about identity, ambition, resilience, friendship, mentorship, and what happens when you refuse to become someone else just to fit in the room you're standing in. So
I like all those topics.
Yeah, I thought this would be fun for you and I.
Yeah.
Because we've definitely one of the things that I've appreciated about you, Justina, is that neither of us particularly are good at staying quiet when we think things aren't, when something doesn't seem right. Let's just put it that way.
I hate an injustice.
Yeah.
Especially when it's done to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's hard to stay quiet when you know that you're being wronged and like it doesn't seem like anybody cares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think we saw that happen a lot to us. I think we saw it happen to our peers at times. And neither of us were very good at keeping the lid on it during that time.
I was telling everybody. I'm like, do you want to hear a story about my trauma?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was thinking back on it. I actually don't remember when we first met.
It had to have been an ASDA meeting.
Yeah, but you were at my house. So ASDA is the American Student Dental Association.
Yes.
So you were at my house at one point.
Yes.
And I remember you being there.
Yeah.
I don't remember why.
I feel like it had to
Did we do like a beginning of the year meeting or something?
No, because I remember I was at your house. It had to have been around like something to do with COVID. It had to have been.
Yeah.
Because remember we were unable to like meet in large groups at the school. And so you were hosting people. Were you part of the committee who chose like D1 representative?
I was involved with that.
Yeah. Because I remember Ravi he must have been like.
Was he your president when you were D1 or was it Amanda?
No, he's president-elect.
Okay. So it would have been me and Ravi probably picking it out early on.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks into that, we had to do, the stuff happened where I wasn't president anymore.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, that kind of tracks.
That makes sense.
But after that, I think I only saw you really at conferences because I wasn't as the president anymore. I felt like just so like defeated and like kicked in the shins by the administration at the time and at the school that I just snuck off to conferences to still like scratch that itch, but I wasn't involved at the school very much.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because you and watching what like happened to you, and I feel like even when it was happening, I had such a limited idea of what was even going on.
Yeah.
But just watching how like I feel like you were one of the main faces I saw at ASDA right when I came in as a D1. Right. And then to go from that to kind of just like you were like hanging out. I almost thought like you were maybe on your way out. So to know that you were like a D3 at the time, I believe, and like you were still supposed to be super involved and we just kind of didn't hear a story because obviously it was none of our business.
Right.
But you were one of the main reasons why I was like, well, I'm not going to do ASDA here because clearly it looks like they can just rip that right from you whenever they good and feel like it.
It really was. I always questioned whether or not the school liked having ASDA be such a strong presence. Because if you were president of ASDA, you got to sit on the Indiana Dental Association board.
Yeah, right.
We're a voting member. Right. So we could be there and be like, yeah, stuff's not going great at the school IDA. And they didn't like that.
No, it's quintessential silencing. It's like the textbook version of like, we want you to have a voice,
right?
But not if your voice contradicts what we want.
And I'm not saying all the administrators were talking that way, but there was several that were. And unfortunately, they had quite a bit of power at the time. But we were at annual session.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in a room with our friend Dan.
Yeah.
And you just like come in. I'm like, hi. Hi, Justina. Welcome to the guys' room. It's messy.
I'm here.
Yeah. And we're just talking back and forth. We're talking about like national ASDA, how it's organized. And you look at me and you go, Elliot, how do I become president of ASDA? I'm like, of school?
School.
And you're like, no. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that conversation, but it's so funny because you told me that I said that super early on, and it was either Ravi or maybe somebody else said like you were like from the beginning you're like, no, I want that job.
Yeah,
but I don't remember I feel like I said it in like jest, but I do say like things are a joke until It's real.
I guess, yeah. And I mean, you started like coming in at me. You're like, okay, what do I need to do first?
Yeah,
what do I need to do
yeah.
second? I'm like, okay, you need to become trustee.
Yes.
You need to do this and that. And then you did it. And you were the first Black female as the president, which is fucking awesome.
No, it was
I was so
cool.
proud of you when I found out you were running for trustee.
Yeah.
Like, is she going to do it? Like, holy cow.
And it's crazy because I remember the person I was running against was such like a pillar in the district like leadership, and she had done so much to like help plan the conference before, and it just felt like she was a shoo-in. And so I said, I'm gonna run for trustee because this is what I've been told. I'm gonna run for trustee. I'm gonna try for that. But if I don't get it, because I didn't think I was, because she was such a great candidate, I was like, I'll just, try to do maybe some national leadership and then still circumvent my way around. But I knew being a trustee was like a very important part.
It's like the most direct path. Yeah. You can go around, but it is harder.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember when I ran for trustee, it was during COVID. I had like to record a little video, and it took me like 80,000 takes because I kept like just being weird and just not loving exactly what I was saying.
You're a bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, just a bit. So yeah, that was such a crazy time.
Yeah, that conversation, I remember there was like a little bit of like, who does she think she is? But also like, I think she might be able to do it. I remember you remember Teal, obviously.
Oh, of course I remember.
So I'm like, T, Justina wants to be president of ASDA. And she's like, yeah, she'll probably pull it off too. So,
well, I love the early confidence you guys had. I really, really appreciate that.
Do you think you've always been like a gunner in that way?
You know what's a little backstory about even my reason for coming to ASDA, and this is going to be a little shady, but I remember when I first started dental school and I looked around, I knew I wanted to be an orthodontist. I was like, I want to be an orthodontist. This is like the lane I chose. And then you get to dental school and you realize like every third person also wants to be an orthodontist. Yeah. And it's like, oh, and then you realize the GPAs of all these people who want to be orthodontists. Yeah. And it's very daunting. And I remember like one of my friends, Brett, I think he was in your class too, Brett Turk. He was the president. You
guys are both from the same area.
Yeah, from the same area. Yep. And he basically told me like, you should get super, super involved, because he kind of explained the application process and how it's a very holistic application, at least at IU. So if you don't have the GPA, there better be something in your resume that explains why your GPA isn't the 3.9 that they're usually seeing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then, I started getting involved with ASDA, I got involved with SPIA, I got involved with SNDA, all the organizations I could think of, but I always came back to ASDA. It's like the cream of the crop, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so I feel like because of that, I just was super gung-ho, not only about leadership, because I knew I wasn't going to spend 10 hours in the library every day to study.
Right.
It just wasn't my ministry. I had so much going on, and I felt like, even going back further, before I came to dental school, I had lost my father. So I was super intentional about making sure that I didn't miss family things. If there was an engagement party, if there was a wedding, I wanted to make sure I was there.
Awesome.
And so it's like, I was the person that like, if there was a happy hour for my friend who was celebrating an engagement on a Thursday, I was trying to leave clinic to go do that. You know what I mean? So I couldn't put in the hours I knew would be necessary to really make the grades. So then I became super intentional about all the other aspects of my application as well.
And I mean, to just reflect, like I had a friend who wanted to be a periodontist. He was near the top of our class and he didn't get in because he didn't do anything.
Yes, it's that serious.
Yeah.
And I think that part of it, especially when I got in over people that were way higher ranked than me, it was kind of just like, oh no, they were serious when they said you can't just have the grades anymore, because
I mean, becoming president of the entire organization was probably a great way to.
No, exactly. Once I got out, I'm like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm gonna be okay. I think I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. But that was a huge driving force for sure.
One thing I always really appreciated about the American Student Dental Association was that it gave power and voice to the students, where the other organizations, you were like the student chapter.
Yes.
Cute. We want you to be involved once you graduate. So this is how we're getting you involved now.
We're pitching it early so that you recognize us when we come and ask for your membership fees after you graduate.
Yes. And I think a DSP and some of the others, like the reason that they sometimes had a little bit more clout in the school was because we had administrators involved with those organizations. Yeah. And the rules applied to them differently.
For sure.
So did your family like encourage this like leadership? Because you're first generation American?
Yeah, I'm first generation American. Yes, yes. So not necessarily. I think my mom is very big on like, just do the books, just study. People with A's get to do things. That's the way. That's the clearest, easiest path.
She's not completely wrong.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. But that's just kind of the culture that we grew up in. Is just like, face your books, face your books, face your books. Like, study. That's the easiest, most clearest way to become successful, and then do everything else after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that we all kind of changed that mindset, because I remember the student I was when I was an undergrad trying to get into dental school. I could have just been that same student, but I didn't get involved with really anything in undergrad, just because I was so focused on getting into dental school and getting the GPA. And I knew that leadership mattered, but I knew that research and stuff mattered, but I was seeing people. It's very easy to be at the top of your class and get into dental school.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be at your top of class and also get into residency.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So for the beginning, like when I was in undergrad, I just focused on grades. And then I think that when they saw me starting to kind of like do the ASDA and all these things, my mom was like, wait a minute, I thought you said that this is what you wanted and these are the type of criteria that it takes to get to ortho. And I'm like, yeah, but I think I'm going to have to like do it a different way, just for me to enjoy the entire process to getting there.
Was super important for me as well. Like I, being dyslexic and ADD, I didn't get the value from school all the time of sitting in the classroom. I couldn't absorb the information until we got to hands-on. I wasn't pulling it in. So I knew I would never be at the top of the class. Like it just wasn't going to happen. I could be top of the clinic, which is the path that ended up happening for me. The top of the class probably wasn't going to happen.
But I always think in my mind, I'm like, who as a patient do I want to see? The person that was like the best book smarts, or the person had the best
technical skills?
I want the person that can make the teeth pretty. I'm like, I don't care about if like the different organic chemistry reasons why we use light cure and all that stuff. Give me the results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
I think that both are important.
Yeah.
But if I'm just a person walking down the street, I want you to be competent, obviously, with the book smarts to know and how to take care of me.
Right.
But everybody wants that smile. And that's what you can deliver when you have just the natural talent or you work on the hand skills part.
I've found that interesting that as I've gotten out of school, I'm going back to my notes more often and like looking up things that I've forgotten.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm retaining that information better now than I ever did in school.
You're applying it.
Right. And like a multiple choice exam is not a good way of testing whether somebody understands a subject or not. And that's how we're tested in dental school.
Yeah. But I mean, that's how I feel like school is in general.
Yeah.
It's a very, like, if you're good at being tested in this one way, you'll excel. If you're not, then you won't. And I think that hopefully we're trying to get around to different ways of teaching people, even from like as small as preschool until now. Because I think that if you realize that you can engage people and teach people in different ways, then you get a broader variety of different students. You know what I mean? And then you're able to actually impact them and they're able to actually learn.
I agree. And there are some schools doing that now. But I remember remediating an exam and they handed me an old blue book and just had me like write out my responses. And he like got it back and he's like, oh, you know this. And I'm like, I've barely studied since I took that exam. Like I knew the information. I talked myself out of A, B, C, and D, and it turned out.
Or it's like A, B, and C were like a grammatically incorrect version of whatever you had in the PowerPoint. And I was confused because I didn't know if you knew what kind of question you were writing. You know what I'm saying? It could be that simple. Or it's like the A, B, and C were like the captions on one of the charts.
Right.
And so I hadn't looked at every single caption of every single chart. And so I got those wrong. But like at the core of me, I understand what concepts are being taught.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
And I I look back on dental school and the thing I think I like started to discover like really on was how valuable I found that mentoring people. So like you coming in, asking me about what's it take to do this or staying involved with ASDA even when I was kind of like pushed out to the side. Like I loved that. I think it made me a better student. It made me more engaged, way more than anything happening in the classroom.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like that mentorship aspect of things, working with young leaders, like being a leader myself, kept me engaged in school. And I don't think administration or most of the instructors ever understood that.
Yeah.
And they just wanted one type of person going through. And again, it wasn't all of them. There were some really great people we worked with.
No, it's never all.
No.
It's never all. But there's always enough people leading the ship that think a certain way. And it affected how we were able to learn.
Yeah.
But I still think that dental school was an incredible experience. I still look back fondly.
You're better than me.
Yeah. I tried to because I just feel like if I'm always like complaining about this thing, at the end of the day, it gave me an amazing career.
Yeah.
I was able to get everything I needed out of it. So I try to look back at it and be like, you know what? Was it the best? No, but you have to, I believe the things that are really worth it, you have to struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the dental school is that struggle.
Yeah. And it was a big one. Yeah.
Yes,
so to keep going, confidence is such a big part of what you do as an orthodontist.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you're trying to imbue that into the patient by getting their teeth into the position that they want.
Yeah.
And me who likes cosmetic dentistry, it's kind of the same thing. But you also have a big air of confidence with you when you do a good job of it. And I try to do the same, but there are times where I feel like I'm masking.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so, sure.
Yeah. Do you like deal with that too, where you've got this like level of like, all of a sudden my self-esteem is like dropping a little bit, so I need to like put it on.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fake it till you make it type of person. Like, you're not gonna see me sweat, but like it's because I have like 10 things of deodorant on. You know what I mean? Like I'm sweating, I'm nervous, but it's not helpful for me if I know that I'm nervous. You know what I'm saying? So especially like I find that now when like, I'm definitely working with people's kids. I'm having them trust me by putting all these metal contraptions in their mouths. And so like, and I'm also a younger doc. And so I feel like I try to overcompensate the confidence because I'm like, I want you to trust that I know what I'm doing, even though you may be a little nervous because I'm quote unquote not as experienced as maybe somebody who's been practicing for a while.
Yeah, I would agree. Especially when I bought my practice, I had to do it way earlier than I expected to because of my father's health. And we didn't have a lot of systems built. The vision of where the practice needed to go wasn't well defined. And like just getting through that was just, and you have to come in every day and you put a big smile on your face. I probably didn't do the best job of it every day, but I did my best. And you get there because when it comes to it, like the moment like I walk into the room with the patient to do a procedure, they need to know I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you need to be the one that's like unshakable in the office because the second you start being like, well, I don't know what to do, like, well, the team's gonna be like, well, if you think we knew, you went to school for all the years, like, if you don't know, God, like, help us, You always
get that assistant that does know more than you, like that first week, and they're like handing you instruments that you're like, what's this? And they're like, just go like this, and you're like, oh. Neato.
Right. I'm like, and you always say something like, oh yeah, I remember they taught us that. You know what I mean? But you're like, no, remember. Thank you for helping me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, a seasoned assistant in your first couple of years will like save your life.
Yeah.
Because they didn't go to school, but like they know how to do your job probably as good as you will, at least in the very beginning.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they are invaluable.
Absolutely. Sure. Like when it comes to like that air of confidence, did that come from your upbringing? Are there parts of your upbringing that are still influencing you today?
Oh, for sure. Like I think culturally, Nigerians are very proud people.
Okay. I do have to ask a question.
Yes, ask me.
Okay. I couldn't remember where in Africa your family was from.
Yes.
Nigeria.
Yes, we're
and
Nigerian.
I just saw a video of a woman who had like pinpoint accuracy with her slipper off her foot.
It literally like flings up, catches it, bam! Like it's literally
that's a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it's like that gentle parenting stuff. I don't even know if they have a word for it in their language. Like, it's not even on their radar. And it's one of those things where it's like you didn't have a choice but to be great. It's like either you'll be great and you'll enjoy it, or you'll be great by force. And you'll just be smiling in those doctor pictures, and you'll just be smiling, and you can cry at your therapist. You can cry at the therapist you can afford because we forced you to be successful.
But also don't tell us that you were at a therapist because we don't want to.
We don't want to know your dirty laundry. We know you have it. Keep it in the closet. You know what I mean? But I think it's one of those things where it's like the confidence was so ingrained because I watched my parents be confident and not maybe know the language or know their ideas. My mom would always say, it's like, imagine how smart I would be if I could talk in my own language. Like I sound intelligent in English and that's my second language. Imagine how much I could articulate myself if I could speak in my native language.
That's awesome.
And that always hits so hard for me because it's like you meet people and they're bi and trilingual, and it is the audacity of us Americans who speak English to be like, oh, we're the smartest one in the room. And it's like, this person in your international dental class is learning dentistry in another language.
Right.
Stop playing with them. They're like, you know what I mean? Like they have a talent that we can't even imagine because they're doing this in a language that's not even native to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like insane. So
that was such a valuable thing that I think I like learned and realized at IU because they bring in such a large group of international students late in our second year. And like, there is a dude in his 40s. He's been practicing dentistry for 20 years and like he's struggling with the exams. But if you need help getting a tooth out or something like that, that guy came in and just in like 30 seconds it was done.
Wiggles it out.
Yeah, I learned more from him half the time in oral surgery than I learned from the instructors.
No, it's because like nothing in dentistry really replaces that time and like the actual practice of dentistry. Even if you can't articulate what exactly that we're doing on paper and on the exams, we know that the international dentists who come in here who have had 20 years of experience, they're punching higher than us just for the simple fact that they've done this for decades,
right,
while we're just getting started. So they're invaluable.
yeah. I mean, you're sitting there and you're trying to get one filling done in 3 hours.
3 hours.
And they get 4.
Yeah.
On day 1.
Exactly. It's really night and day. And that confidence just comes from watching people be confident, and also that fake it till you make it. But it's definitely something that was instilled in me. Like, you know what? You're not going to be perfect. So don't expect perfection. Just try your best. That's all you can ask. And when you go in knowing that you're going to try your best, you're confident. Because I'm going to make a mistake. I might make mistakes, but I didn't show up here trying to do 90%. I've always shown up trying to be 100%. And if I fall short of that, it's not because I'm not good enough. It's because I'm a human and I make mistakes.
Yeah, I would agree. Don't get me wrong. There were students, both international and American students,
right,
who probably, were going to struggle in their first couple of years out of school.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
but there, to just say that like that person is less intelligent or less good at dentistry because of the path they took to get here, absolutely ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think confidence comes through repetition. I think it comes through experiences. And if you the way to become confident is by learning.
Yes.
Unless you're a sociopath or a narcissist, then you get it automatically.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem fair.
Doesn't seem It's like, why are they being blessed more? And they're horrible. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. And I think also it comes with like being comfortable in your own skin. And one thing that like I've always tried to be is unapologetically myself.
So me. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we didn't necessarily go about things the way that we should have. And I don't think either of us played politics as well as we could have.
No.
Like,
I have a horrible poker face.
Yeah.
I used to be sitting in meetings like, does this face like
this is yeah.
What?
I either have like resting RBF or I have elation. Like those are my
there is no in between.
Yeah.
Either I'm with you or I'm out.
Yeah. But my problem is like people will be like, are you mad? This is a story. I had a brand new employee in the med spa here. And like I came through and I asked her a quick question and she gave me the answer and I just was like, okay. And I walked out of the room and she thought I was mad at her. I was like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
And she goes to Kayla, our NP, and she goes, Dr. Elliott, like, oh, well, I think he's mad at me. And Kayla goes, that's just his face. It's fine.
That's what God made him. It's fine.
Everything's good.
That's funny.
Like, were you always like that? Did you try to fit the mold at any point?
You know what? I definitely, when I was younger, definitely tried to fit the mold.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did that come with like being from an immigrant family?
I think so. And just trying to fit in when I already knew, and fit in the ways that I could control, because I already knew that like maybe my backstory wasn't going to be the same as my peers. So I would try to assimilate in ways that I think that, like I said, I could control. But I think that the thing that made me just be like apologetically myself is that losing my dad at such a young age. Yeah. It's just like, at the end of the day, none of this stuff matters. Like if I'm not going to sit here and try to be this perfect person or this perfect representation of what I think they're looking for, when in reality, like, I could die tomorrow. You know, it sounds bad, but to have that realization at such a young age, it's just like, you really got to live every day to your fullest. And how can you do that if you're trying to be somebody else?
When did your father pass away?
He died like 2 years before I started dental school.
Okay.
So the first time I applied to dental school, he passed. I applied in May and he passed in July.
Yeah.
So I didn't even go to any of those first applications that first round. And then of course the second round, I went and the following year I went in. But I think that's just one of those things. Everybody has something in their life that like changes their perspective.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's when you're younger, sometimes it's when you're a lot older. But that changed my perspective when I was so young, to kind of just be like, if you start trying to be somebody that you're not at the tender age, like when you're younger, it's so much harder to like and undo that stuff.
And figure out who you are.
Yeah. Like in your 20s, when you're younger, is the time where you can make mistakes, figure out who you are, because everybody's doing it.
Right.
And I always talk about it. It's like the same way. It's like when you're like learning how to do makeup, learn how to do makeup when you're a teenager, because everyone looks crazy. When you're, you know what I mean? Everyone has the eyeliner. You look a mess, but like everyone looks a mess together. When you try to learn how to do makeup at 50 and you got like blue eyeshadow on and purple lipstick and you're somebody's grandmother, it's different. Yeah. So it's like, try to make those mistakes when you're finding yourself. Don't try to be the one that has it all together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to be Foxy Grandma.
No, you don't want to be Foxy Grandma. You want to be well blended. You want to be the grandma I'm doing my treatments, honey. I don't even wear makeup anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's the grandma you want to be.
I would agree. Like, I think it's also better for mental health too.
100%.
Because like, if you can't figure out who you are, and you can't be yourself, like that can really drain on your soul and on your psyche. And one thing that I think I've told a lot of people over the years is like, you don't have to be the dentist or the orthodontist for every patient.
No.
They can go somewhere else and that's okay.
My favorite thing to say to a patient is, you're welcome to get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like, if I can already tell you're going to be a trouble patient, I'm like, oh my gosh, you should go and try to find somebody who does XYZ. We don't do it in this office, especially when it comes to like mini implants, TADs. Like if they're already going to have a crazy bite and you already have like a perfectionist mindset going into it, and I know it's going to be a struggle for you to accept what this is actually going to look like. My favorite thing to say is, and you're welcome to get a second opinion. And if that means that they do and they find somebody that's going to sell them a dream and like, you know what I mean? And pretend that they can make them into this person. It's like so many people go into dentistry when you really should be in a plastic surgeon's office. It's like the things you're wanting me to do with just teeth to change your face is impossible. So if you want those type of outcomes and I can't manage expectations, please find somebody who can.
And the management of expectations is super important. Never make promises you can't keep. That's why new dental students or new people coming out of dental school, buy a camera. Take pictures of everything you do. So when somebody asks you, can you do this? You're not pulling up a picture on Google.
No.
And showing them something you can't do.
I had a patient the other day. He had like quintessential or classic example, gets the braces off. He has a gap between the two front teeth, doesn't wear the retainer. And like 6 months later, he comes back in for his retainer check and there's like a gap in the middle. And the dentist before me or the orthodontist before me, that he would make like this retainer contraption that would like close the space. And so he's like, why can't I get that? And I'm like, it's not because I don't think it worked, but in my hands, I can't guarantee that that's going to be the outcome. And I only really am trying to do things that I know will be successful for you if you're going to pay for it. And that wasn't the answer he wanted, but I think I go to sleep at night thinking that was the best choice, because at least I didn't take his money thinking like sell him a dream. Like I told him, I'm like, I know that's possible, but I don't sign up for treatment that I haven't been able to either see that it's like the streamlined treatment that we all do, or I've been able to do it myself.
But there's also like a willingness of like trying something new too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I'm sure you can, like through, you know, your father passing or things like that, like confidence we get by surviving things sometimes. But we always have to like come back to like, what are we comfortable doing? Where are we willing to push things? Where do I have enough education and knowledge to try something? And do I have the right mentor to do it? Like, I'll have patients say, well, your dad would do this. And I'm like, my dad used pins and amalgam to put teeth back together. We aren't taught to do that anymore. It's not the best way to do it. And just because it worked in your mouth for 20 years, it was probably tried in a lot of other mouths and it didn't last.
It didn't work.
So like you're very fortunate that it worked out. And then the opposite is true too. Somebody will come in and I'm like, I don't want a root canal. It all failed after 15 years. I'm like, you had a tooth for 15 years is what you're telling me. I had one patient 2 days ago, full gold crown, beautiful gold work. It's got some secondary decay underneath it. And he's like, but a lot of his crowns were having issues in the past like year and a half. And he's like, why are all my crowns having issues? Like, can you look when I had this done? And I'm like, well, was it done here? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I should be able to. I'm like going through and I'm scrolling up the chart. And I was like, sir, this crown was done on July 17th, 1992.
This crown, the crown just tried. The crown has tried for multiple decades. Like, it's tired. It's, needs to be tapped out.
He listened up after that when he realized that he had got 34 years out of a single crown.
But I think, look, to your point, like all those things matter, and, figuring out where you're comfortable trying to kind of pushing the envelope or trying to try something new. As long as you go in with transparency with the patient, like, I don't have a lot of records that this is going to be working, but I know that this is a possibility. And if they're willing to try and you're willing to try, I think that is an opportunity for you to build confidence.
And I think that the mentorship of having someone, it sounds like you're working with a guy who's really open to asking questions.
For sure.
I had some really good mentors, Dr. Savanich, I would hit up every once in a while. And then my clinic director, I would hit up, and then I had a couple of other people out, like when I had been out of dental school, but I also attached myself to a couple of the specialists, hey, I'm going to try this. Are you there to bail me out if it doesn't work?
Fair.
Rarely ever had to pull that ripcord, but it was nice to have that. One of the things that we've talked about a little bit is you and I are both really willing to work our asses off for things.
Sure.
And we have goals in mind that we're going to obtain. And if people get in our way, we get annoyed.
Yeah. Fair.
And when I look at some of the things in ways we were effed over by different situations, I'm wondering how you feel about that. Like when somebody tells you no, is your reply no, yes? Like,
I think it depends on what it is. Like if it's a goal of mine, like for example, I wanted to be an orthodontist since I got braces when I was younger. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So if you're trying to tell me, no, I can't be an orthodontist, and that happens, of course, when you're an undergrad and they tell you the only people that get to dental school are the people who have 4.0s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when stuff like that comes up, I'm like, okay, yeah, but you're just not the advisor for me. If you're going to be an advisor that tells me that only the people who get straight A's are going into medical and dental school, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So in those cases, I ran
into the same thing. Like I was a college dropout and I went back to school and the ADSAS re-ranks your GPA even if it was 7 years ago. Like,
exactly. So I think in those cases, I'm very easy to be like, oh yeah, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. I think it's important to take critique and take that no from the right person. Like if somebody who knows me, like if my siblings or my mom or somebody's like, I think you're punching above your weight class, I'm more likely to be like, okay, let me rethink this from them than somebody who's going to compare me to like a textbook and be like, well, a bunch of people didn't do this, so you can't do this, because I've seen that be proven wrong a million times. But I think it's just who is telling me no that kind of dictates my response. Because if you know me and you know my story and you're trying to caution me from a place of like love and respect, then I'm more willing to be like, you know what, let me take a step back because this is a person I know who wishes me well. Whereas if you're just somebody who's going to just give me a textbook answer, then I can give you one back and thank you for your time. I'm going to, I can seek a second opinion as well.
Yeah. I like it. There's always a different mentor out there for you, a different advisor.
Right.
The path through life is rarely a single road to a goal. Sometimes there's a very small road that you can get on to get there, and it might be a lot harder to get through.
Yeah.
But one thing I don't like is when I've pushed super hard to accomplish something.
Yes.
And somebody who may or may not have gotten in my way, like inserts themselves into this. I'm going to bring up a very specific example. I was trying to get dates right on like when we met, that type of thing. And, so I'm Googling, trying to find stuff.
Yes.
And I find an IUSD post bragging about how Justina is the first Black female president of ASDA. I looked at the date on it and I was like, I'm pretty sure 2 months before this, she called me telling me they were trying to block the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Did that piss you off?
It pisses me off in such a deep way, because I remember right before I got on stage to give my speech to like say that you want to be a candidate, I opened an email from somebody saying, well, the decision is you're not going to be able to run. I'm like sitting in the auditorium. I got my purple suit on. I got my shoes. Hair is done. Makeup is done. I'm getting on that stage. I opened it. I've been like scrolling on my phone and I open it and it's literally the person who's in charge at the time being like, unfortunately, we came to the decision. The committee has decided you're unable to run for this position. And I remember I closed it out and I was like, well, I'm not going to tell them that now. Like I'm here. So I got on stage. I did the whole thing and I won, and I was going to address it afterwards. And even afterwards, they're like, you're going to have to write them and tell them that you no longer can do the position. And, so for all of that to happen, and I finally, I made my way, I was able to have them overturn the decision and become the president and stay president. But to then after that become like this show pony where every single Black History Month, here I go. Oh, we have the first Black female president.
Yeah.
So I did something in retaliation for that. And basically I've only given the, I guess what was the DEI office, the permission to use my likeness. And that was, they were the one that wrote the article. So I was able to proofread it. That's where that came from, right? But I still get emails to this day asking me, oh, can we use this for this? And I say, I'm like, if it's not from this one specific office, I don't feel comfortable with it, because I'm not comfortable with you all using and like having my narrative, because I don't want you to spin it and make it untrue. So the only reason that I was able to be comfortable with that article is because I knew who wrote it and I knew that they were going to, they were writing it from a place of congratulatory. Okay, good. You know what I mean? But
I wondered about
anything
that.
else, like they're like even just like just a couple months ago.
That had come out of like the academic affairs office.
No. No. The same office that was like, actually, no. So what makes me mad about it is even today, they'll like be like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And I'm just like, clearly you guys have not, there's no history and there's going to be no account of how I got to that position.
Right.
They're going to be like, this is one of our students and she did this. You know what I mean? They're going to try to gloss this over as if they were always supportive, basically.
Right. And that
was not the case.
And that's what happened with me too. I remember I got the delegate of the year. Is that what?
Yeah.
I got that award, and they did a announcement about it. And then they always put out their magazine thing every year. Mm-hmm. And it was after I had gone toe to toe with one of the administrators and told him that he was more concerned about his own career and CV than he was the students.
Oh.
Yeah, probably said too much.
Yeah, I've been there.
And then they cropped me out of the photo of the American Student Dental Association leadership. Literally, I was at the end, and they just cropped the photo
off.
Yeah, and then I was in another picture, and they put the word blurb right over my face.
It's just the petty is so crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a student position, you feel like you're in a vulnerable position, and the administration is goading you in that way on their publications. It's like, this is insane.
We had such a cool dean at the time too, Murdoch Kinch, and the one before that. But you couldn't get to them to talk to them about this situation half the time, and their hands were so tied by the bureaucracy of everything that they couldn't
100%.
help you.
And even to this day, I've done so much, I wouldn't say healing because that's kind of whatever, but reflection of just you know what, I can appreciate the situation as people trying to go by the book or whatever they were trying to do. But at the point where you were blocking people from having incredible experiences because of grades that in general we all can realize don't matter, I think there has to be nuance when it comes to these decisions. And that's what I was missing.
And I think I want this to refocus on not just a complaining session of these injustices, but you and I both had to have the resilience to eventually accomplish their goals. My goal was to become the best dentist I could. I thought I also wanted to really get involved in organized dentistry outside of dental school.
Yeah.
But what happened in dental school to me and what happened after dental school really prevented me from getting involved in organized dentistry to the level that I thought I would be in.
Yeah.
And that's okay. My career is great. I have an awesome life. But just to give context to this whole thing, because basically your story and my story in this situation, very similar.
Yeah.
So part of the education process in dental school is you're going to take these classes, and if you don't do as well on them, and this is the same in medical school too.
Yeah.
We're going to do something called a remediation. Some of the directors higher up.
Yeah.
They look at it as you're failing.
Right. They look at it as benchmarks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I remediated a class. It was Dr. Stewart
at craniofacial development. Yeah.
I sat down, and he him and I worked through it, and he's like, "You're great." So Dr. Stewart, awesome instructor.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. But I was running for trustee of ASDA at the time, and they're like, "Well, you can't do it because we can't give you a what did they call it? Academic clearance or something."
Yes.
And I remember at the time, I knew that there were other organizations in the school with leaders on academic probation, and they were being treated differently. I was basically kind of shut down. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to get those people in trouble.
Sure.
Then something pretty much similar happened to you, and you called me and you're like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, I don't know if I gave you good advice. I was just
you did.
I don't know, Justina. They do this. They don't care.
Well, so I think I'll take off from where after we had a conversation, you're like, "What?" And I was like, "What should I do?" And you were the one that told me that there are people who were in other organizations who were also on academic probation. And that's what caused me to look if there are people during my time who were also on academic probation.
And there were.
And they were 100% were.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't really feel bad about them getting in trouble. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And so
I needed Justina to come in and lay the justice down.
Because one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go above somebody's head. Okay. If I couldn't get to the dean, I'm going to IUPUI's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office. I'm going to raise the red flag and be like, I'm being mistreated, and I'm going to get some justice. Because at the end of the day, there were too many people before me who were silent, and it just derailed them. And I wasn't about to be embarrassed and have you guys put out a thing, be like, she just won this president thing, but actually, we're going to have to go with her understudy or some random thing that would be humiliating for me.
Yeah.
And so I just was like, well, I'm going to fight tooth and nail. I'm going to go to the absolute nth degree. Yeah. I think it also doesn't help that I was already in the position that they were trying to.
I was running unopposed. No one was going to run against me because they're like, he's going to win.
Yeah. So to me, it was like, I think I went so hard because not only was like, this is something that's happening to me and it's not fair, but I also was just like, I'm not coming up off of this stage and off of this position because of a technicality for a class that, mind you, is a specialty class, and I was already going to a different specialty. Yeah. Why are you worrying about a perio when I'm going to be ortho? If I'm doing anything with the gums, something's going horribly wrong.
Right.
Like, I should be with the brackets and the wires doing my thing.
But also the perio department looked at it in a way of like, this remediation is our chance to like educate you further.
Yes.
Like so many people had to remediate or failed that class. It was like 27% when I graduated.
Yeah. And it's gotten better, but I think it's because...
I don't care. Any class that's got a 27% fail rate is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Especially when it's not like it's not a SABS.
No.
It's not a core class. It's
SABS is a scientific, it's like
biology class, exactly. Yeah. Where I think the information in there, it's you get in the minutia, but it's important. So that to me was a little bit more of why I was like, you know, I'm going to take it a little further than Elliot did, because one...
I think I told you might need to lawyer up. Yeah,
you did.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily lawyer up, but...
No, you kind of did.
Yeah, but Asda's lawyer was like, yeah, this is not... Something ain't clean in the buttermilk. And the Asda lawyer is basically like, if you find one student who is on academic probation, or you get a whiff of them, then their entire thing is null and void.
Yep.
And I remember this is an insider, because somebody who was on that committee when they were deciding it ended up coming to me and like taking me to the side and being like, I'm not allowed to be saying this. But when when they had to go back to that committee and say, hey, you know, because of X, Y, and Z, we have to let her continue on with this position. One of the people in the committee had said something like, well, they have an effing gun to our head now. Like, we can't even do what we want with our own students.
Yeah.
Because IUPUI was like, that's weird. Like, just let her do the little president thing. Like, stop it.
Right. And that was the big thing, too, is like, at the time, it wasn't a huge time commitment to be a trustee. It was like, we would be gone every 6 weeks on a weekend for a day.
Yeah.
This is not I'm not taking a full-time job in some like dental lab or something.
No.
That.
It was super low commitment, high reward for you as a student to be involved in these organizations.
Right.
So it really should be one of those things where we're going to try our best. If you're doing okay, we're going to try our best to make sure you get
but
those
because it's not a DIA or SPIA or anything like that, when I found out, like I was at my first ASA annual session, first year, the ADIA president got up, spoke on everything. School paid for her flight, her hotel, like I think ASA paid for part of it too.
Yeah.
But you know, she got to miss an exam. I found out the next year that she was on academic probation when that happened. And
that's just...
until like I'm in the same position you are, where like you don't want them using your face or your story for anything. Whenever they ask me for money, my response is always, is so-and-still still working there? If so, no.
Like, give me a really quick Rolodex of the faculty, because I'll be able to tell you if I'm donating money or not.
Yeah. And it's such a hard thing for someone like me. You've worked so hard and somebody puts a roadblock in front of you for petty reasons. And because of the situation that you're in, you are absolutely powerless to circumvent it.
For sure.
Like, I don't think they understood how like demoralizing that was for a student to do stuff like that.
Yeah. Because it's just like dental school is already understandably and widely known as a very challenging time. So when the students are going out of their way to take on more just to have a glimmer of fun during that experience, and you're like pushing them down and be like, nope, just study. It's just like, dang.
And the pettiness was high.
The pettiness was high.
Yeah. The same guy that we're talking about that got in our way at times tried to have me dismissed the next year. Like, and it was just
like, at that point, do you need more responsibilities at your job? Like, why are you so obsessed?
Right. But I think it taught me something different. It taught me to be resilient. It taught me to like, if the roadblock comes in front of me, I'm going to find a way around it.
You just have
I'm going to have to change the goalpost a little bit here.
Yeah.
Like, so now I've moved my goal here. Yeah. Will I still get to the same endpoint? If I do, like, who cares? Yeah. It's okay.
No, I think that it teaches you resilience. And then it also teaches you like, it sounds cheesy, but like that whole life isn't fair thing is really real. Like you'll watch somebody sit and have the same things happen to them and they'll be praised and lauded and given all these things. And for some reason, the same thing can happen to you and you become this person that they feel like they need to suppress.
Right.
And, you know, being able to keep some lightheartedness about you, being able to not let it really drag you down is another.
The dark humor can be really, really cleansing.
Exactly. It's cleansing, it's healing, and it's one of those things where it's like, I'm going to laugh my way through this. Otherwise, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have to laugh.
I had really great people around me too that
Yeah.
helped a lot. Like my wife, Desiree, was awesome at
Shout out to Desiree.
Yes. My dog, Big Rhonda, you know, she was my rock.
Yeah.
If I was sitting in my office crying like about something, she'd burst in and just start barking.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know what to do. Dad's upset.
There's water coming out of his eyes.
I got to fix him. And great friends in dental school that would like check in on me.
Sure.
And I think it's the people around you that can help you heal at times too.
I think that's one of the ways that I wish I would have been like better. Cause I think that after going through that, I kind of just like shrunk in myself.
Yeah,
in terms of, like,
I felt that at times when I would talk to you.
For sure. Like in terms of just like interacting with people in dental school, I have like a really close group of friends from undergrad. And so I kind of just, you know, fell back on them. And it really put a wall between like what relationships I was willing to have at the dental school. Because I was just like, I would basically, when I went to ASDA, I'd be like super happy, super light. And then IUSD, I just associated with like this dark cloud. And then it made me not want to go to like a, you know, what's that bar crawl they do at the beginning of every year? Cuspid crawl, like these huge events that bring us together as students. I just skipped all of that because I just didn't feel like either one being the one that's like moping about like, oh, everyone else is having a good time. And I'm like, no, but they're being mean to me. I didn't want to be that person.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to be like super fake and be like, oh my God, like we're all having the same experience and we all love it here when I didn't have those feelings.
Right.
So I think that's one thing I definitely regret is I think that if I wanted to, you know, really lean on my class, I don't think that anybody in my class was like malicious. And I don't think that they were in those positions on academic probation to spite me, but it felt like that. And so it made me kind of be like, well, ASDA, I'm one way when I'm with my ASDA people, and then IUSD gets nothing from it. You know what I mean?
Success is rarely an individual accomplishment.
For sure.
You have to have a team of people that you work with.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's my team in my dental practice.
Yeah.
My team at home. It's hard. I remember when you got into IUSD's ortho program.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be there for another 2 years.
Yeah. I remember.
But it was a better experience.
Oh, for sure. Like I'm
That's where I want to get to the positive of it all.
Yeah.
You got to orthodontics and it was a better experience.
It was 100% better. And I think that, you know, for me, being able to experience IUSD as a dental student and then experience it as a resident was like healing in a way.
Okay.
Because like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. In my residency, it was just like, just get to the end line. Like we're not really worried about your grades. We're not really worried about X, Y, and Z. We just want you to like get the information and get out, which is what I thought that dental school was going to be like. So to be able to have that in that same environment and have people in leadership that I felt like really did just want you to know your information and not hurt people and just have as positive experience as you could, I think that helps kind of make it be like, you know what? I was just a product of a poor environment at the time, but that's not a reflection of the school as a whole. And even when they ask me for money, I'm just like, here you go, take your little money. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, whatever, it's fine.
The ortho department.
Yeah, I'm like, I want my money going here and here and here.
It does not go to the pathology department.
Yeah.
So I like that you had that cleansing experience because I don't think I ever got that. I'll be honest with you. Like I graduated during COVID, first of all. So I remember walking out of the building for the last time and like, I never have to go in there again. But there was no elation from it. No, it was like, really strange. It was just, I'm done. I don't have to go in here anymore. Yeah. That's great. I think both of us just tried to make the best out of the bad situation.
You have to, because it's not going to be the only bad situation we go through. You know what I mean? Like dental school is good because you're in your 20s or your 30s, you're young. And so you have to go through this like experience that's supposed to be a trial and tribulation to come out the other end. There's going to be many things that aren't dental school that you have to go through like that in life. Yeah. And so being able to build up that resilience just in a professional capacity and a personal capacity is just super important. And then figuring out who you need to be able to get you through those situations. We talk about mentors, we talk about friends, family, like you start to build that bubble around you because you know that this is not going to be the next time you're tested in this way. It's not going to be a similar situation, but you need to have that type of armor around you to be able to deal with anything in life and to kind of learn that in a very controlled environment where, you know, it feels super, super intense. But at the end of the day, we both got out and we're both living lives that we want. And we also have the additional learning experience where it's like, oh, now I know what I need to do and I know who I need to lean on. I think it was worth it.
It took me a few years to get to that point. Yeah. I would agree, like coming out of dental school, it was hard for me. My dad got sick. Like I ended up graduated in COVID, which sucked. I really do not want any dental student who's hearing this or somebody who's fresh out of dental school to like interpret this as us saying like, like just get over the hump and then it's rainbows.
Right.
It
Absolutely not.
100% is not. Like if you look at my practice and like look what I'm doing, it looks like it's fun all the time. It's not. It's really, really hard. And any like buddy who is suffering practicing dentistry right now, I want you to feel validated.
Absolutely.
Because for a lot of people, your first job will not be your last job.
Yes.
And that's okay. The place that you signed up for not working out, it might be your fault, but it probably is.
It's a case by case scenario. Yeah, but we're hoping it's not your fault.
It's the same thing where I say be unapologetically yourself. Yes. Unless you suck, then you should make this.
You are a terror.
Yeah. Then make yourself better and then be unapologetically yourself.
Seek a very good therapist, get your shit together, and then be unapologetically yourself.
Or acting lessons. One of the two.
Yes.
But you were asking me earlier, and I'm just going to invite you to continue that part of the conversation of like, what does it take to get out of dental school and like start practicing? Like, what do I look for and things like that?
The question is like when you don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
So obviously, they'll tell us, that first job, look for mentorship, et cetera, et cetera. But you also you have questions about who's the right type of mentor.
Right.
So all of those things, I think that is the biggest thing. Once you're done with dental school, it's like, okay, where do I go next? And who do I listen to when there's like just so many voices screaming at you to go this way or go that way?
So I'm going to give this like answer in 2 bits. Then. So when I was in dental school, my clinic director was absolutely fantastic. And we had some really good clinical faculty, like IUSD's clinical faculty.
Superb.
Were amazing. I learned so much from them. I also knew that there was more to it because a lot of these guys were retired dentists. They had been out of the game for a long time, but they were really, really young and they were just like trying to improve their income or they wanted to do something a day a month.
Yes.
So I ended up shadowing at other dental offices during dental school.
Oh.
I went to like 5 or 6 different dental offices during dental school and I attached to one of them. Mm-hmm. The hardest. It was called, I think, microscope dentistry in Carmel. Bougie practice. Ooh, loved it.
I love bougie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dr. Randy Shoup. Really cool guy. Could be an abrasive guy.
Yeah.
I remember talking to a few of the like clinical faculty and they're like, you're shadowing who? And I was like, I'm like, yeah, he's learning a lot.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right. And then I remember talking to my clinic director and he was like, he's a bit of an odd duck. You're going to learn a lot there. And that was his way of just being very, very nice and professional about it.
Well, you're going to learn the good things and sometimes you learn things you don't want to do.
So that's how I found mentors.
Yeah.
Some of those guys, not just the people in dental school I leaned on afterwards. I started shadowing during dental school.
Yeah, that's smart.
So I would if we had a day where the clinic was closed, I would go to another office.
Yeah.
And that was hugely valuable. I didn't have to spend a lot of money on CE because I had seen so many things. And while it wasn't always hands-on training, I had seen it be done multiple times that I could come in and I could apply the same thing. The other thing is get your dentiform out and practice.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to kind of go back to how you learned dentistry in the first place.
Right.
But I also think it's so awesome to do it while you're in dental school because I think it's different when you're out and you're trying to like shadow different offices.
That's what I wanted. Yeah.
They see it's like
harder.
It's harder because they're like, you are also their competition at that point.
Right.
When you're a dental student, I feel like the doors are open, it's a little easier. So that's really, really
And I would agree. Yes. In dental school, it was easier, but it can still be done when you get out.
Yeah.
And like, I think this applies to a lot of different like businesses and professions.
Yeah.
But I went and signed up for SPEAR. Which is a big continuing educational group. I talk about them a lot, but I attach myself to the faculty there. Now they're my mentors. Now they're the people that I can lean on, email, and get information from.
Sure.
Or they're the people that are involved in my classes.
Yeah.
Sitting next to a guy who, he takes out third molars all the time, but he doesn't know how to do half the cosmetic stuff I need to do, but I can call him when I have a tricky extraction.
Yeah. And vice versa.
It's super great. So like getting like networking, going to the cocktail hour at the end of a class when you're tired and miserable.
Yes.
You like get people's phone numbers, talk to people. That's huge.
Yeah.
And I talk to a lot of our friends and a couple of people that you'll know. Like You're like, well, I haven't done any CE yet. Or I'm like, first of all, you need it for your license. You better be doing
You
it.
need it for your license.
Yeah.
It's like literally.
Yeah. Like I'm almost at the 400-hour mark at this point. Like I'm
Wow.
feeling really good about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. And because of that, I have so many people that I can call when I get into different situations. And I've created a toolbox of different techniques that I can use. So even if you're like, I don't know what I want to do, we'll take a treatment planning course.
Start at the basics.
Yeah. Like, oh, I know how to treatment plan. Do you? Because you're calling me asking me how to treatment plan something.
Yeah. So maybe a little sprucing up wouldn't hurt.
Right. So like like being humble, willing to go to those courses, and then putting yourself out there. Like if you're not an extroverted person and it's exhausting, yeah, it's hard. I get it. It's super hard. But the value you're going to get out of it, that's how you find mentors. That's how you find mentorship. You were asking me about like what to look at for in a practice and things like that.
Yeah. And like how do you know about insurance, collections, all these different things where, I'm lucky enough to be in an office where I can just ask for those types of things. But sometimes it's kind of like gatekept a little bit if you're an associate. So understanding where you can get that information. Yeah. And I don't know if like for me, it's when I don't like give that information out to like, it's not that I'm hiding it from my associate. Yeah. But it's also like, I want you to become a really good dentist right now, Dr. Butler. And she's already a really good dentist. Yay. So I'm like there to like help her with the clinical stuff.
When you're ready to talk about, when she's ready or a future associate is ready to talk about the business stuff, the door's still open, but it gets really complicated and I'm still learning it. Yeah. And the problem is that the goalpost is changing on those things. If you're in network with an insurance company, they can change their like processes, put it into, or their like fee structures or this or that. They put it in fine print and you'll never know if they changed it unless you're digging into it all the time. Yeah. So that's where the private party, like insurance, like consultants come in really, really handy. When it comes to like the insurance fees and like how to navigate that, having a consultant and doing a ton of reading is valuable. In fact, I would find out which consulting agency you want to work with by talking to your peers. Yeah. Don't just Google the one with the best reviews. Talk to people who've actually used them. Yes. Find out how much it's going to cost for a full year with them and add that to your loan. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I would do. I worked with a group called Custom Dental Solutions. They were awesome. I wish I had hired them like 6 months before I did. Oh, really? Yeah. Cause I didn't hire them until like November and I bought in March. Before you even bought the practice. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. That's how much they helped me. So really it is, you have to keep networking. You have to keep reaching out. Even if you're an introvert, you have to figure out a way to be able to connect with people. Yeah. And I remember in ASDA, they were like, the introverts are like the people that are like writing down the email that they put, that you as a presenter, you put your email on the last page because you're just like, you think it's going to be fluff, but there's somebody in the audience who doesn't want to go up to you, but they will email you. And if that means you got to put a message through ChatGPT and like send that, then at least you're making those connections. So it really is. I do. And it was the same thing for me at speaking events. I've had people email me afterwards because they don't want to talk to me at the time. So, and it's totally fine.
All right. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues and our recording feed got cut off a little early here with Dr. Anigbo, Justina. So we tried to record a new one a little later and that one had issues too. So it's just me recording this outro. Had an absolutely fantastic time with my friend Justina. So I would love to get her back on again sometime. And we're going to have to, because obviously those technical issues cannot be the ending to that story. But thank you for listening to another awesome episode of the Death Before Decay podcast with Dr. Elliott. I hope you all have a fantastic day, a fantastic journey. And we hope to see Dr. Anigbo back on very soon. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to another awesome episode of the Death Before Decay podcast with Dr. Elliott Humiston. I'm Dr. Elliott Humiston. I do a lot of the production and editing. I also have my awesome production helper and co-host, John Erline, and graphic design is done by Ashley Yang. You can follow me at dr.elliotthumiston on Instagram, and John, you can follow at john.erline.photo on Instagram. Please like, subscribe, and leave us some feedback. We always appreciate it. And good luck on your journey.